So today our webinar is on Google Local Service Ads, and this is actually a fairly new and a pretty exciting thing that's going on, and I think it's important for anyone who's operating a local service business to really understand what local service ads are and how they can benefit your business. And so hopefully as we go through this webinar, you'll have a little better understanding of what local service ads are. This is something that's Google's been rolling out. They just started doing it some time back, and it's not in all areas, but they are rolling it out. And so it's important for you to know, and we'll talk a little bit about how you can find out if it is available in your area, and if it is, how to take advantage of it. And also it's can be a little problematic as well. We'll talk about that and how we can minimize the problems that are happening with that. But Google's making a lot of changes in their marketing and advertising services to businesses. And so we just have to stay on top of that all the time. Like for years, we've done Google AdWords, and they've now changed the name of that. They've combined some services, and they're coming out with a lot of new things in their marketing offerings. So, but today we're primarily going to cover local service ads and talk a little bit about that. So let's go ahead and get started with local service ads. In the past, with what we call the SERP, or the Google search engine ranking results, when someone goes in and does a search, they're looking for your services, they will type in something into the search, like carpet cleaning, upholstery cleaning, or those kinds of things, and then they'll get back the results. Those results, Google automatically determines where they're doing the search from, whether it be by phone or by computer, and so they determine where that's are, and they adjust the search results based upon that. The search results that they get back are going to be basically, in the past, they've been three different areas on the page. And if we look at that, at the top of the page, we have Google Ads, or AdWords as it used to be called. And those ads have appeared at the very top of the page. And of course, AdWords or Google Ads are based on a pay-per-click model. And so whoever is signed up with that and is then they will appear at the top of the page, only a few listings, and then there will be additional listings as well. And what we found in the past is those can be effective, but not as effective as other parts of the search results, because people understand that those are ads. So the second thing on the page in the past that we've had are what we call local search. And local search typically will have a map. You can see on our little graphic here, it has a map there. And then it will list the top three in the local search results, so the top three businesses. And those are based on a number of factors, a lot on how many reviews you have, on your distance from the person that's doing the search. As we said, Google knows where they're searching from, and a large portion of it is based upon the distance. And there are a number of other factors, and we'll talk about those in just a second. But they will display the top three items. And then if you click on more places, it will give you a longer list of businesses that are in the local search results. But typically on this page, you've got to be in the top three to really be displayed. Excuse me. And this has, in the past, been the most effective place to be. If you can be in one of these top three places, that will give you the best results. But they're a little bit hard to get there, because you've got to have all the things in place, and you've got to work at being listed there. And so, but that's the best place to be. And then down at the bottom of the page, there'll be what we call the organic search. In organic search, there are 10 listings typically, and then usually underneath those, there will be some additional Google Ads or AdWords listed there as well. But the organic listings are really where we just list the pages. Like I say, there's 10 of them, And that's also a good place to be. You can be listed in both. Okay, so the organic listings are really based on a different set of factors, which we'll just talk about in just a second here. We'll touch on that as well. So typically when we do that, when I was a little kid, we played the game, we called it King of the Hill. And so one of us would stand at the top of the hill and we'd push the kids off, and the other kids would try to get to the top of the hill and push us off. And that's really what we do with the Google search engine results, is we try to have more ranking factors in a better position so we can push who's ever on the top of the hill and have your business at the top of the hill. And then we don't want anybody else to take that spot. But it's really a matter of doing the things that we need to do to keep your business at the top of the hill. When we look at those ranking factors, the things that get us at the top of the hill, depending on whether it's local or organic, and this is sort of subject to opinion because Google doesn't really publish these, but these percentages were generated by surveying a number of different agencies, probably last year, to determine what they felt like were the top ranking factors or the top things that you needed in order to be ranked at the very top. If you look at the local search, which we feel like is the most important, it's the Google My Business is the most important. And with Google My Business, there are a number of factors there. There are going to be, your address, whether your Google My Business account is optimized, but really one of the top things there is the distance that you are from the searcher, and that plays a huge role in that. Google in the past has promised that they were going to, if you're a service business, that they were going to go based upon your service area, and then that never happened, and then they published some information and said that they were going to put that into effect again, that instead of doing the distance to the searcher, they were going to do a service area. And it's been quite a bit of time has passed since then, and we're still waiting to see. We have seen nothing that would indicate to us that they have actually done that. We're always hopeful that they will. Typically when we build a Google My Business account for a service business, we set it up as a territory so that if at some point in time they ever do what they say they're going to do, and go off the territories, that it will be set up for that. But right now, all indications that we see still show that it's all based off of the distance from your business address to the person doing the search. Then as we look down the list, link signals, what other sites link to you, how well your pages are optimized, how all of the other NAP listings, are they in agreement? So that kind of gives us how big is your footprint on the internet, what directories point at you. Reviews always play an important role. They play a huge role with customers and their trust of you, but they also play a large role in this as well, not the biggest role, and other things there. From the organic listings, you can see that they're a little bit different. The most important thing that it's felt like are the backlinks built to your website and your on-page optimization, and then on down the list there. But those are the things that you need to work on to play king of the hill and to push the other people off and to make sure that your page is at the top of the hill. And so in the past, that's been what we do and how we work to get these things done. But if there's anything that's constant about internet marketing, that is that it's always changing. And so it's really important for us and for you to stay on top of those changes. And one of the really big changes is local service ads. And so, when you're fighting and you're trying to push somebody off the hill, it's better to fight and try to push somebody that's wimpy off the top of the hill, somebody that doesn't have all of those things in place, somebody that's easier to push off the hill. But if there's a grizzly bear at the top of the hill, you're going to have a tougher battle. And with Google local service ads, we really feel like now there's a grizzly bear at the top of the hill. And so it's a lot tougher battle. And so I think this is a really important webinar. It's really important information to understand what's going on, because my opinion is that I really don't like to fight grizzly bears if I can avoid it. And so I guess in this particular case, I would kind of go with the statement, if you can't beat them, join them. And so I think it's important to understand Google local service ads and not try to fight it, because it's going to be a losing battle. At least I'm not too good at fighting grizzly bears. So better to join them and to work with Google and to be synergistic than to try to fight with Google and try to push them off the hill, because it's not going to work. So let's talk about Google local service ads and what they've done and what it looks like. Okay. So again, back to our search engine results. If someone types in a search result, a search for your business, now, depending upon the city, because Google has not rolled this out everywhere, and just in major cities, and I'm not even sure I can say that, because if we look at where local service ads are being displayed, there's really not total rhyme or reason. It's not all the big cities have it and all the little cities don't. For the most part, the larger metropolitan areas do have it, and the smaller cities and towns don't. But you really have to look in your area and see if it's there. And so now what they've done is they've added this advertising up here at the top, very top of the page. The most important real estate is the very top of the page. So now in the areas where Google local service ads are available, they have these ads at the top of the page. And as you can see, there's 3 of them, and we'll break those down and talk a little bit about those. And Google's done that in a very, very effective way, I think. So, and they've pushed everything else down. So there's no way to push Google down. You're not going to win. That's the grizzly bear. So now at the top of the page, if it's in your area and you do a search for, say, carpet cleaning, you can see if these local service ads appear at the top of the page, and they push everything else down. They push the AdWords down, they push the local search down, and the organic search down. And honestly, with what we've seen and what we're seeing going on is in the area where the Google local service ads are, you're still being displayed, but we're seeing the conversion rates drop substantially. So Google local service ads are very effective, and they're taking a lot of the traffic away from the organic listings and the AdWords, even the local service ads and the Google AdWords and the local search areas as well. So what we want to talk about now is how we can use that and how we can take advantage of that. Okay. Some of the advantages of the local service ads are they're at the very, very top of the page. So they're the first thing that your potential customers are going to see. And they're very good at connecting with those potential customers for you. So there's a very high likelihood of getting a good conversion off of those, because they're at the top of the page. And we'll talk about some of the things that Google is doing that's very effective with those. So a very good likelihood that those will work for you very well. They're really clean and simple. You have the 3 ads that appear at the top of the page. There's not a whole lot of information. And then if you click on one of those, it can take you to a very, very simple profile page. And we'll show you a sample of one of those as well. But it's all very clean, very well done. And from what we're hearing, the people that are using local service ads are very pleased with the results that they're getting so far. So it's very, very oriented at mobile apps and using on mobile devices. It works very well with mobile devices. And one of the things that works well there is it's so clean and so simple that it works really well on smartphones and mobile devices as well. And one of the things that we're seeing as we look at the statistics that we collect is that more and more of the searchers are searching on mobile phone apps. And so that's a very, very important aspect to have. Your websites and everything that you do needs to really be targeted at mobile apps. It used to be about 50-50. And now we're seeing that that's not even close. It's by far the most users that are searching on their mobile devices. So that's an important thing too. And the next item I think is really key, and I'm going to walk you through that and show you. But with these Google local service ads, it is really, really structured to build trust with the customers. And they offer a Google guarantee with that. They even guarantee the advertisers' work that are on those. So it really does an excellent job at building trust with customers. An important part for your business is, as well, is in my opinion, it's a very low risk because with the local service ads, you only pay for leads that you get. So you only pay when your phone rings or when you get an email request form. It's not paying per click. It's not, paying for some services being done. You are paying only for leads. So, as long as those prices, and we'll talk a little bit in a minute where the prices are coming in, but it's a very, very low risk advertising opportunity because you only pay for actual results. So, in my view, local service ads is a real winner, and Google's doing a great job with that. The customers that call you and have chosen you from the local service ads are very, very likely to sign up. So you should have a very high conversion ratio of the people that call you. And so that would be the only risk that you would have, is if you got a number of calls and you paid for the calls and they didn't convert, they didn't actually sign up for work from you. But the way the whole system is structured, since they've already chose you, they've chose your service is displayed there, they're from your area. Local service ads are a really low risk marketing solution. So let's break these down a little bit more and see why they're so effective. And I think also show, by looking at this, what we can do and what you can do to help your other advertising to be more effective and to be more synergistic with what Google is doing, so that you can more effectively work with Google ads and not be taking the hit from the decrease in the conversion ratio because they're taking the leads away with these. So as I look at these, what I see is that they're really, really targeted at building customer confidence. And that is a really, really smart thing that they've done with that. So let's look at these ads and we'll break them down, okay? So if somebody clicks on one of these ads, what's going to happen is they're going to go to a very simple page that will just give them the basic information, but all the information is on building trust, okay? And if you look at the data that they have here on these ads, they're really simple, they're really clean, and they give the most pertinent information, okay? So if I click on one of these, I'm going to go to a page that's going to look like this. Very clean, very simple. If you look at this, right up at the top has your name, really targeted at the reviews. Again, those reviews help to build confidence. It lists your service area and the phone numbers. Then it gives some information here. We'll talk a little bit more about those. But all of this information is targeted at building trust and really focusing on those reviews. So very clean, very simple. Okay, so if we look at these, if you look at the actual ad that's on the search results page, they have the name of the company, and then the second thing on the list is right there again, reviews, customer reviews. If you go to that simple profile page that they have, they list the reviews again. They list the number of stars, but then they break it down even more and they give the reviews to the people. So reviews, again, are critically, critically important, and those help to build confidence with potential customers. Okay, the next thing that they do is Google is offering a guarantee. They guarantee your service. So to advertise with that, they're going to look at your business pretty well because they don't want to guarantee somebody that has problems. So Google will actually guarantee your work, okay, up to $2,000. And it covers, if your customer's dissatisfied, then they will cover that. And from what I'm hearing, if you have a number of complaints and they have to pay out on this guarantee very much, you're not going to be part of the advertising campaign for very long. So I don't think that's going to be a problem with our customers, because everyone seems to offer such good quality work that I don't think people come back much. But be aware that if you did have a number of comebacks, a number of claims against their guarantee, that you may lose the ability to advertise in that. But that again builds huge confidence with customers, because they're seeing up here what other people are saying about you and what they're doing. Google actually guarantees your work, so it becomes very low risk decision for the customer, and they're going to feel really good about clicking on this ad and signing up with people who are here. Again, that's going to help to increase your conversion when those people call you, because they're already comfortable. They're not as worried because they know that the work is going to be guaranteed. Okay, the next thing down is it lists the service area. Right up there, front and center, is the service area. So they know that you're from right there. They know that they're getting a business that's in the service area. And again, that helps your conversion ratio, because they know that where you're from. The next thing down is right up there, front and center. Here's your phone number right on the ad. So they can call you without going to that second page. They can immediately call you and get a hold of you without going anywhere else. So that takes the number of steps out of it. I mean, it's just right there, call to action. There's your phone number. Okay. The other thing that they do with this program, again, a huge confidence builder. If you look, this page is showing from the actual profile page. They put in here some things. They require you to pass a background check. So Google has done a background check on your business. They know that you're insured, that you're running a viable business, that it's not a scam. All of these things look and are focused and targeted at really building customer confidence. Over here in your bio information, you can list things, and these are more what you want to list. But if you look at these things, Better Business Bureau accredited, A+ rated, 14 years in business, locally owned, everything is really focused on building customer confidence. So let's look at the main selling points again, just to review what we're seeing the main selling points are of Google local service ads. First of all, at the top, again, customer reviews, building confidence with those customers. Offering a satisfaction guarantee, more confidence. Displaying your service area right up there front and center, displaying your phone number right up there front and center to get people to call you immediately. The background checks and the insured part of it as well, all things that build customer confidence. So let's talk about how much it costs, or how much Google charges to be a part of this program. And it sort of depends upon what we're seeing, where the city that you're living in, and those kinds of things. And you'll have to actually talk to the service rep at Google to find out what your pricing would be. But again, we want to focus on the fact that this is a cost per lead. It's when the telephone rings, this isn't a click. This isn't a person looking at your website. This isn't a person looking at anything. This is the phone call, which is much higher. And we'll do some comparisons and some estimates here in a second. But what we're hearing is Google saying for carpet cleaning and upholstery cleaning, they're going to charge around $21 a lead for those calls. And I'm getting different numbers as I'm talking to different customers of ours of how much they're being charged. But a lot of them are less than the $21 that Google says they're going to charge. So somewhere in the range of $15 to $21 per lead or per telephone call is what it's going to cost for this program. Again, I think it's a low risk because it's actually your phone ringing. So let's compare that to AdWords. And these numbers are, these aren't exact numbers because every account differs and every day differs and things. And so this is really just some numbers that are kind of in the realm of what we typically see, the averages kind of a thing, mostly just to give us an idea, but your numbers may be different than this, okay? So when we run an AdWords campaign, we usually see, and we try to keep the AdWords cost under $3. And typically we see those anywhere from $2, $2.50 to maybe $3.03. And so I chose a number here at the high end just to kind of give us an idea of what they're going to cost. Okay. So if we say that AdWords are $3 a click, and then we pick a 15% conversion, and again, this number varies. We see as high as, I've seen as high as 33%. We've seen, probably down as low as 8%. So I just picked a number sort of there in the middle, 15%, to try to kind of conservative. We try to keep them around 20. 20 is what I really like to see on a conversion rate. Now, what that means is that we pay per click. So if I pay $3 per click and say I get, 100 people that go to the website, then only 15 of those would actually make the telephone call or would actually or fill out a form requesting more information. So only 15% of those would turn into a lead. So at the 15%, if I say that it takes 6.6 clicks to generate one lead at the 15%, okay? So if it takes 6.6 clicks to generate one telephone call, that means that telephone call is going to cost you $19.80. So, like I say, these are just hypothetical numbers. They may vary. But you see, if you compare that to what this new campaign is with Google, you're right in that range. If it was from $15 to $21, AdWords typically is going to cost, 19, that's right in there. And depending on where your numbers are, you're still right within that range with AdWords. So very, very similar in pricing probably to AdWords, but the difference is with AdWords, it's not as, you're paying per clicks. So depending on how that day is or what happens, that may vary. But with local service ads, it's not going to vary. Very low risk because you're paying per call, not per click. So in order to really measure this, and we can measure these on your website, but we have to have the phone tracking numbers in place so we can actually see what the conversions are and see what your conversion rate is to see what your actual numbers would be. But we can actually measure that, and that's an important reason to use the phone tracking number. Okay. So now let's look at this based upon the website package, the success package that we're doing. The success package that we're offering is $175 a month. And these are I'm going to give you two different sets of traffic numbers because it's going to vary so much based upon your area and your website and how many reviews you have and 40 million other factors. But I'm just going to give you numbers to show you kind of the comparison for the price. So let's do one and say that your package cost for the success package and the website and everything is $175 a month. If you had 100 visitors to the website and we had, again, that 15% conversion, like say we like to see 25, 20, 25, so higher than that. But you can see with these numbers, the actual cost per telephone call or per lead that you get is going to be around $11.60 per telephone call that you get based upon those numbers. Okay, let's take a lower number to say that your website's not doing too great. You're quite a distance from your service area. You don't have a lot of reviews. So some of the other factors aren't put together. So let's say you got 60 visitors to your website and you had a 15% conversion. you're looking at a cost of $19.44 per lead. Again, still in the same realm of what the local service ads are offering. But the difference in, again, we have all these variable factors, how many people are visiting your website, what's the conversion rate, all of those things. Whereas with the local service ads, you are low risk because it's actually the telephone ringing. Now, both of these sets of numbers give us things, but if you look at, if I look at the range of what we've got, these are some of our worst sites. I've actually got some that we were calculating that it seemed like I've got some that these actually come out to be like $4 a lead or $2 a lead. My best success package out there, I think, is just under $3 per lead. So we've got some that are doing incredibly well. But good operators, a lot of work, a good area. These are more variable, so we can, with work, do incredibly well. We try to keep them under $10 per lead is where we like to be, really, with the website and the leads that are generated from the website. We like to be under $10 a lead. So still, the website and the success package, if everything is working well, will be far better than any other advertising or marketing that you can do with on the internet. As far as the cost of lead generation. And in average cases, or even in, like, say, this is a poor case, you're still going to be right in the same range as this new local services ad option. So Google has some pretty stringent requirements on what the advertisers have to do to participate in their local service ads campaign. And obviously, since they're guaranteeing the work, they're going to check these things pretty carefully. And you have to actually work with Google directly. There's actually a human there, a person, which is unusual for Google, to have somebody that you can actually talk to, but you actually have an account rep that you talk to, you give the information to, you work with to get this account set up. It usually takes a few weeks to get it set up. But these are the requirements that they have listed on their website for carpet and upholstery cleaning pages. They're going to do a business background check and make sure that you don't have lawsuits. They're going to try to see, customer complaints. They're going to do a background check on the owner of the business. Depending upon your state and whether it's required or not, you potentially would be required to have, I think you have to have general liability insurance. Okay, it's the license that depends upon the state. So you have to have general liability insurance, and if it's required in your state, you have to have a business license, or the owner has to be licensed to do the work. Again, that varies on the state. So those are the things that they're really going to look at in order to make sure that that they're not going to have a problem with the guarantee before they're willing to put you into this advertising program. And that usually takes a couple of weeks. So, but that helps them too, because then if they can advertise those things, they can use those things in their advertising to help build confidence in your customers. So let's look now at what we're recommending that you do in response to local service ads. So the first thing that you would do would be to look and see if it's offered in your area and what cities within your area, because it's not going to be offered in all of the cities in your area. It may only be listed in a few. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to recommend is that you sign up with them. And it's still pretty new, and we still don't have a lot of accounts on there, so we can't do it, give you an unreserved recommendation, sign up with them. But from what my understanding is, you can cancel at any time. It looks really good to us, and so we're giving our tentative recommendation to sign up with Google Local Service Ads if it's in your area. So some other things that we're recommending to be more synergistic with the marketing that you're doing, and that would be is to, if you don't already, for you to offer a satisfaction guarantee to your customers, or at least consider that, because with Google local service ads, your competitors are going to be doing that. And so we would recommend that you offer a satisfaction guarantee as well, so that in the areas that Google local service ads is not, that you're still offering that and you're more competitive. And we feel like, if you do that across the boards on all the marketing and advertising you do, not just through Google local service ads, that is going to help you to be more synergistic and to be, a partner at the top of the hill standing next to Google instead of trying to compete with them, is to do the same things that they're doing. Because typically, I've seen Google do some dumb things, but typically Google's pretty smart and they have things figured out pretty well. And so, if you align yourself with what they're doing, that can be very helpful. And the same thing goes on their background checks. If I think it would be a very good idea for you to go ahead and get a background check done, and to get your general liability insurance, to have those things as part of your business, and use those things up front and center in your advertising and marketing again, so that, no matter where a potential customer looks, if they look on your Google local service ad, your local service ad profile, on your website, in your AdWords, even wherever, you are displaying all of those things, confidence building items in your thing. And if you say, that your background checked and you have I don't know that you need to really advertise the liability insurance, but you have those things. Confidence building. And if that's what we see where Google's going, then we feel like that's the thing that we and our customers need to be doing as well. Build confidence with the customer. You may want to think about joining the Better Business Bureau. That may mean some things to there. That you've been in business for, X number of years, you're A+ rated. All of those things help to build confidence with customers. Again, high importance. Be constantly getting reviews, and our review app software is very, very helpful in doing that. Reviews are very important, whether it's with Google on their local service ads or in their local search areas. When I'll talk in a second about how we're setting it up so that you can actually get reviews displaying in the organic listings as well. But reviews are important for your rankings, but they're also important for customers. If you look at the research that people have done, when somebody's choosing a business to go with, they really look at reviews. And the crazy thing is they believe what other people are saying. They really have a high confidence in reviews when they read what other customers are saying about your business. So reviews are critical to your business, not just from a ranking standpoint, but from also a conversion or a confidence building standpoint with your potential customers and with your customers as well. So really don't ever give up on reviews. If you look at where the reviews show up and where you need to get the reviews, of course, Google is always the most important place, in your Google My Business account to get people leave to reviews there. When this is the local search reviews, the local search results, those reviews show up, and those are critically important. But again, not just in the ranking, but in building confidence with your customers. But a fairly new thing that a lot of our customers are not taking advantage of yet. Some time back, we actually built a system into our websites, and I use a big word that I don't like, but it's called schema. Google uses what they call review schema. But we've built a system into the website itself where people can leave reviews on your website. And, if you got a review, you call somebody up and you get it on a piece of paper, or you can go type it in, we can type it in, but we need to get as many reviews as we can on the website, because we've actually built into the website underneath the covers. You don't actually see it, but this schema where we submit those reviews to Google, and depending upon how they're doing that, if you look in your local not your local search results, but your organic results, there can actually be stars displayed there as well. And those are really, really powerful just because most of the organic search results do not have stars next to them. And so with those orange colors and things, as people look down through the organic results, that can help to increase your conversions a lot, because that's a really highly untapped area. So also focus on getting reviews actually on your website itself. And you can go to the pages, and we actually have these set up by city so that they will be sorted and appear on the city pages as well, which will really, really help with those conversions in the individual cities. So another place to look, and another place to work on, and a highly, highly unused part of the website that we provide. And I think really generally just a highly unused thing on websites and carpet cleaning. So there's some opportunity there as well. So, okay. Some of the things that we're doing here, the last things that we've been talking about are things that you can do and things that you can focus on. Some of the modifications that we're making, is one of the things that we're doing is we're trying to mirror Google and do what they're doing. If you look at the typical listing of the descriptions, these would be like what would show up on the organic search results. These come from the meta tags on the web pages. This is what the old ones look like, and we just put nice things in there, setting a higher standing, pay attention to details. Dry in 1 hour is always a huge thing. Give us a call today. Okay. So we will be talking to the different franchises about redoing these, but we want to refocus so that we're more doing what Google's doing. So if you look at this, of course, you got your title and the website again listed here. Right up front, if you're offering a satisfaction guarantee, we're going to put that up there. Confidence building. Satisfaction guarantee. Dry in 1 hour, carpet cleaning, getting our keywords in there again. Listing the service area. Putting your phone number right up there, front and center, so they can call you right away. So we want to move these confidence building things right up front, right at the top, so people can see those right away. So that's one of the changes that we're making throughout what we're doing, and we'll be rolling this out in the next few months, is putting together and changing our meta tags and changing our descriptions to move those things right up front and center, and to, so that we're right up there standing on the top of the hill with Google. Another thing that we're doing in the websites themselves is we're going back into the actual city pages, since we're going to change how we're working with our keywords, and we're putting those right up at the top of the page as well. On the website, we're putting these confidence building things right up front and center, trying to build more confidence, trying to look like we're right up there with Google and we're doing what they're doing. We're also making modifications, like I said, to the city pages. So we're providing more information on the city pages and make them look more like the main page. So if people actually enter on these pages as well, they will have that same confidence building information. And then we're going to be changing our keyword strategies. So instead of focusing primarily on the one major city, we're going to do a more general, so that, instead of really focusing on the main city, we're going to be focusing on all of the cities within your area. That way, we're spreading it out so that we can pick up more leads generally across all those areas and get better rankings across all the pages. And so as we build more confidence in those city pages as well, that should help us to increase our conversions and, like I say, be more synergistic with what Google doing. Again, with the AdWords campaigns, we may want to focus more on the outlying areas. And if you're running a local service ad, not try to compete with it and not pay for clicks that are competing with a local service ad. But if you're going to run a local service ad, then we would use the AdWords campaigns to advertise or to market services that are not being that you're not marketing with the local service ads, or cities that you're not marketing with the local service ads. It doesn't make sense to compete with a grizzly bear. So we need to work with them and not against them, so that we can get the most effective use of your advertising dollars. So just to kind of give you an idea, I went into one franchise area. I went through each city and just trying to see on populations and things. Excuse me. So you can see that the areas that they pick really aren't based on the populations of the city size, but in this particular franchise area, these are the areas that Google is offering local service ads. And so you can see they've got some cities down here that are still pretty large, but then they drop down to some even smaller cities, and they're probably actually suburbs of the larger cities, but they offer it for this city that only has a population of 660, but yet the service ads aren't offered in this one that has 12,000 people. So like I say, there's not a lot of rhyme or reason to it. I'm sure there is if you could figure it out. But if we can look at that and we can see where the opportunities are. Okay, so for us, these are keywords that we should own in this area up here, because we're going to get the best bang for our buck up there, work synergistically. And we're still developing and testing this new strategy of working with local service ads to be the most effective. But we see, I think some of the things that we're starting to do are going to be incredibly effective and incredibly helpful in just whether you have local service ads in your area or not. They're going to be more effective. And as Google rolls this out into more areas, it will help us to compete even better. So anyway, so that's kind of where we're working on local service ads. I think it's a great opportunity, and I would recommend signing up with it or exploring with it. If you have questions about it, give us a call. So at any rate, we'll go ahead and wrap this webinar up then. Give us a call if there is something that we can help you with, or we can direct you to hopefully someplace that you can get an answer to those questions. Our telephone number is 208-356-8361. If you have, like I say, anything else that we can do to help you, please feel free to give us a call. So we'd like to thank everyone for coming today, and hope you have a great day.